We love a good show just as much as the next person.
The plot, the characters, the twists and turns.
Sometimes it all needs a deeper discussion.
We're two babes just giving the people what they want on
On
mystery,
mystery,
murder,
murder,
and
and
melanin.
melanin.
Hi there, and welcome to Mystery, Murder, and Melanin. I'm your co host, Yelly,
And I'm your co-host, Harmony.
and we're going to jump right into it. Y'all, this episode had so many juicy details.
I loved it. I loved it. I'm so excited to talk about it.
So let's start off with the fact that last episode, I was like, I think in episode 3, they'll probably tell us more about how Merritt and Tag even got together.
Mhm.
And we finally get like a little glimpse of when they first have their conversation. And they are at this party, and Merritt is like taking a phone call. She walks down to the beach where Tag is sitting because, as usual, he's smoking.
Yeah.
And after that, they have like a little conversation. And so that's how we see that they meet.
Yeah. So they meet. I feel like what type of party was that?
I don't feel like they explained what it was, like
They
they didn't really
have
show
not.
that much.
And it seems like that was still the same house, the
Yeah.
same estate. So there
Yeah.
was another party, and it
That
said
might
it
have
was
been
a
an
year ago.
engagement party.
Maybe oh yeah, that's what I was thinking, an engagement party.
Yeah. But she was like, oh, Benji's dad. Benji's dad. Like that's how she was referring to Tag.
Yeah. And so in this episode, we see Amelia is snooping hardcore, and I am here for it. She is like, no, you're not going to do my girl like that. What is going on here? And we
Yeah.
see her and Greer butting heads a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a lot of that. And we are getting flashbacks. We're getting present day in police station. We're getting a lot in this episode. So let's go ahead and move through the rest of that. Let's talk a little bit more about Amelia snooping because the last episode we could get the vibe that she's just like she's feeling a type of way about Tag. She's feeling the type of way about the family trying to like spin her friend's death. She's
Mhm.
just she's not with it at all.
Yeah. So in this episode, does Greer catch her going into his office,
There is a scene where she
to
does see
Tag's
her.
office?
Well, coming
And
out of
she's
it.
like, yeah, coming out of Tag's office, which she didn't really find anything in the office. She's just like, what am I even really looking for?
Yeah.
And Greer's like, I want you to feel comfortable here, but don't go in his office.
Yeah. Before that, he was looking through his files, and I think he was
Oh
looking for the
yeah.
receipt for the
Oh yeah.
bangle. But we know that our
Yeah.
girl Greer, the mom, the first
Yeah.
episode, she saw the picture and receipt, and I think she must have took it. And I think he was
He
looking
probably
for it.
did. Yeah, he was. He was like, "Whoa, where is this?" in
hmm
his head.
Yeah, because that would tie him possibly to Merritt.
Mhm.
If they, you know, find the bangle and everything, it could possibly tie him. So I feel like he was looking for that, and it was not
I think so. Around the beginning of this episode, too, Abby and Amelia are at the poolside. Do you think? And then Abby tells Amelia about May Pratt. Do you think Abby was being messy, or do you think she was being sincere?
I think Abby was in a way just telling Amelia, like, don't ask too many questions. The family has their own things going on, and this is kind of like normal as far as the NDAs go, and just basically play nice with the family and play your part.
Mhm. Yeah, I did feel like, okay, maybe she's just letting her know, like, okay, yeah, I've signed an NDA without saying I've signed an NDA before. Like,
hmm
no big deal. But it is a big deal. Like her friend died. And then she also gives her condolences at the same time. She's like, I know I'm a bitch, but Merritt was pretty cool. And I'm
hmm
sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I thought that was just an interesting dynamic between them because she was kind of being like nice ish
Mhm.
for the first time.
Right. And I'm like, I mean, she should give some condolences because they both are marrying into this family. And it's like you need an ally at some point.
hmm
So, I
Yeah.
mean, you should, she should take her under her wing. And I feel like she might feel like she might have like might be able to be big sis in a way or something, to help her navigate the situation or navigate the family and Greer.
Mhm. And we can dig a little more into that whole story because at the time, more comes up about that later on in the episode, which
Mhm.
we'll
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
get
get back
we'll
into
get to
that.
that
Yeah.
because that's a little its own situation. But also with this, we also saw that Amelia was at the police station talking to the police chief and the detective, and she was speaking on Merritt's reputation, saying like, I know a lot of people kind of like have this idea of Merritt and that she like gets around, she sleeps with guys, but like she's actually not like that at all. She takes, being intimate with someone very seriously. So she was like, the fact that she slept with Tag, she must have really been in love with him.
Yeah. She's like, she does not have sex with people. She believes sex is power, which, okay,
Hmm.
honey. Merritt was not out here like that. Yeah, people was falling in love with Merritt, but she knows that sex is power and she was not
Hmm.
just giving it up to anybody.
Yeah.
And I think that ties into, remember, we were talking about like, why did she react like that? Like, how could you say that about me and running off?
Hmm.
Because, she doesn't, like she just said, she doesn't just have sex with anybody.
Right.
And her being her
Yeah.
best friend, she's like, I knew that, She was
Yeah.
like, was it an accident? You getting pregnant or you sleeping with somebody? She's whatever that sentence was. Do you
Hmm.
remember that?
Yeah. I remember when she said like what you're referring to, and I didn't even think about that,
Mm-hmm.
but that
Putting
makes
that
sense.
tie together.
Hmm. Yeah. Because I remember in that episode, you were like, that was kind of an odd reaction for her to have
Yeah.
just to what Amelia said. But now, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. I feel like the next thing that was going on is Will, the youngest son, he's
Hmm.
breaks into Chloe's room.
Yeah. And he's freaking out. He's like frantic.
And the dad comes in. Was that this episode?
Yeah, that
I'm
was
all
this
over the place.
episode. And so, like, when Will breaks, well, not breaks in, but like climbs through her window, she's in there.
That's breaking
He's
entry.
okay, technically, yeah. And so you can hear him frantically talking, and the dad is like in the hallway, and you can hear like the little mumblings, but inside the room, Will is basically asking Chloe, like, you haven't told anybody anything. And she's like, no, I haven't told my dad anything. And so it's like, what are they
What
hiding?
are they
And the dad
talking
walks
about?
in. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, you guys think you can control everything, but this is my house. Don't you ever just come through the window. You could come through the front door,
Mm-hmm.
and it's time for you to go. And he's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was gonna say, I think we also find out that the blood on her shirt is Will's from a flashback.
Yeah, I was just about to say we do have one flashback because I think they did a couple of flashbacks, but
Hmm.
the one that they did like around this time, um, is like they're at this party and Chloe is actually like a server or something at this
Hmm.
party, and Will and her take like a picture of the mojito mix or whatever, and they
Hmm.
go and they have like some drinks out by the beach, kind of like hiding away from everybody. But then Will
Nice
sees
hiding spot.
Merritt. Yeah, he sees Merritt, and then he like hands the alcohol back to Chloe and just like gets up and walks away. And it was just like,
Hmm.
why did he just do that?
And it was like, was Merritt having a conversation with somebody, or
I
was
think
she
she was
just
on the
sitting there,
phone.
or was she on the phone? She was talking, but I don't know if we know if she was talking to somebody or if she was on the phone.
Yeah.
And this is also Will shows his like secret hideout spot, which is like underneath like a boat. He has like a
Hmm.
bunch of stuff over there. He's hanging out with Chloe. Like you said, they brought like a pitcher of alcohol over there and hanging out. And Chloe kind of just rolls her eyes that he gets up and walks away without even saying anything.
Yeah. And then that's when that other flashback happens that you're referring to, where like, I guess she must have stayed there and kept drinking and like fell
Mhm.
asleep underneath this boat.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm like, what is she doing waking up right there?
And she
Is
wakes
this
up
her
and Will
first
is
time she slept
crying.
over with him? Like, why would you just fall asleep right there?
I think it's because of the alcohol. Like, I literally think she drank that whole picture. And you know what? When you drink a lot of alcohol, you get sleepy.
Hmm.
And I think she just
And
like
she was
literally fell asleep.
working.
Yeah, that
Ooh,
too.
child, working and drinking, be passed out. That baby
So
did not know what to do. She just woke up like, oh,
yeah, she's like, where am I? And when she wakes up, Will is next to her and he's crying. Um,
mm,
and that's when you refer to like his hand. We see that his hand is like hurt, and that
mhm.
was that flashback. So then they switch to the police station again, present day, and Abby's at the police station, like, yeah, Will's a weirdo. I was like, okay,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Abby's hilarious with her commentary. Because before this, I was not thinking he was really a weirdo until this episode.
yeah,
And not even a weirdo. He has a lot of anxiety.
yeah. I feel like this episode definitely shows Will as like, okay, maybe something is kind of troubled with him
Hmm.
for sure.
And we do see why he's troubled towards the end of the episode.
Yeah,
Um,
and I know, well, okay. I know you have put something about like the shoes again.
oh yeah. So
What?
I had watched the first episode
Mhm.
again and again, and I feel like he really was staring at those shoes.
Mhm.
And I think those shoes are going to tie into something like those shoes may be a family pair of shoes or somewhere where they visit often, where these green shoes are a staple of somewhere that he knows these green shoes are from somewhere, I feel like.
Now, see, I have a new theory. After reading what you put about that, I instantly had a theory in my head because, and we can get into May Pratt right here.
Hmm.
So, my theory, before we explain anything about who May Pratt is that maybe May Pratt might have had a pair of these shoes.
Ooh. Okay, okay. Well, we got to say who May Pratt is now.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go into who May Pratt is.
Okay. Okay, so let's just jump to the dinner then right now. So they're having a family dinner. No, let's just back up. Let's go to the People's Magazine is having a photo shoot at the family house.
Hmm.
This photo shoot is not going as planned. It's first set
Yeah.
up to be outside. Tag is off the shits and talking about whatever upsetting Greer, and it starts raining outside, and they have to run inside to finish the photo shoot. Amelia is not really feeling this photo shoot. Like they want Amelia to be in the photo shoot so bad, but she's like still distraught, really not rocking with the family right now.
Hmm.
And she goes and starts snooping some more. Now she's snooping in the bedroom in Benji's room, and she finds drawings of Merritt.
Yeah, and photographs, like printed out photos of Merritt.
And so during this time, we see some either just going towards the police officers. I don't think it's flash forward or anything. I think it's like a like tandem. The officers are have Merritt's phone and they're going through her voice log, which she's been dodging a call, dodging a call. We don't
Hmm.
know if this is the DL call, but then they check her voicemail and it's Benji or maybe somebody in the family that sounds like Benji leaving a voicemail on Merritt's phone talking about don't tell her right now to wait till after the event.
Yeah, that was very
Did you think
odd.
it was Benji on that voicemail?
It definitely sounded like Benji, but I was just
Hmm.
thinking like, but why is he calling Merritt? And then I was also like, why are those pictures in Benji's desk drawer? Because I'm gonna be like instantly I was thinking like, okay, wait, Benji and Merritt has something going on. But I because she's dealing with Tag, I'm like, okay, maybe she wouldn't do that to her best friend, but like maybe Benji found out about her and Tag, and
Hmm.
he's just like, please don't tell Amelia. But I don't know why you wouldn't want her to tell Amelia because it's not like I don't think that would have made Amelia be like, I'm not gonna get married to you or anything.
Right. But maybe it might be like your family's so freaking messy
Hmm.
because he acts like he doesn't know who May Pratt is, but maybe he does know who May Pratt
Yeah.
is. So moving forward, Shooter returns from the police station and we're going into dinner.
Yes.
Shooter,
Also, throughout this episode, though, before he
mhm,
returns, the family's been like,
mhm,
"Where's Shooter? Where's Shooter?" Like everybody's
yeah.
been like, "Where's he at?" And nobody's known. So he finally shows up.
And we hear that like Greer and Shooter have a close relationship that we really didn't know about before. Like she sees him as another son. So She's like,
Mhm.
where's Shooter at? She's just very fond of Shooter. And I guess Abby also says too that like he lost his mother and maybe she assumed that role for him also.
Now, see, I was kind of thinking because in the police station, Gosha, the house manager,
Hmm.
she made a comment that made it seem like, okay, yeah, Greer treats him like another son, but like there's something else going on with this like
She
relationship
did.
that is
She was like,
not
I don't treat my
normal.
son that way. I wouldn't treat my son that way. But also, I think everyone's a little messy. So you gotta like, it's like you take what everyone says with a grain of salt.
Hmm. Yeah.
Who
So I
knows?
just thought that was
But
odd.
so Shooter walks in and they say something about an exchange of money. Like he didn't say anything about the money. That's what he
Right.
tells Greer.
Yeah. And then he asked
And she
like
just
whether he
brushes
has
it
something to
off.
be worried about. And she's like, no.
Hmm. And she's
And
like,
then
no, and just walks away.
yeah, she's like, oh, whatever the food was or whatever. She's like commenting on that. I'm just
Anyways,
like,
let's go eat. And he's like, oh my God, I've just been at the police station all day.
right.
You're
Like,
not
girl,
telling
I
me
just
anything.
gone.
He's freaking out, like visibly damn near shaken.
Yeah. But now I'm thinking, okay, there was something else I want to actually circle back to real quick because I was revisiting my notes and I feel like you were talking about how they did the People magazine thing and like the
Hmm.
whole vibe. It was just like, okay, tags being overly over the top,
Hmm.
trying to like put on a face for these people. And Greer was upset about that afterwards. And then she made this comment that was like, because he seems like he obviously wants things to be okay between them. And he's
Yeah.
like, don't you ever want to just get away from the lies and just like go
Yeah.
on a trip? Like, let's get on a plane and just go whatever. And then she made this
Yeah.
comment that was like, guilt is not transferable. So I was like, hmm.
She said what?
She said, guilt is not transferable.
Oh, I missed that.
And so I was like, now this is before we go through the story of May Pratt. But
Hmm.
I was like, does that mean that she knew about Merritt? That's what I
Right.
was thinking at the time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this all ties into going into dinner now. They're having a dinner. Everyone's at the dinner table, the family plus Lagosha serving the dinner. Well, not really serving, the heading of it. She's the house manager. She's just making sure everything runs smoothly.
Hmm.
Um, Isabel's there, Shooter's there, Amelia's family is there,
Hmm.
and the rest of the family is there. And so everyone's just yapping, shooting the breeze. And Amelia is not with it. She's like,
Yeah.
why do you have people sign NDAs just out of nowhere?
I was like, oop, mic drop, like pin drop, it's silent. Everybody's like, whoa, I can't believe she just.
And they just try and talk over her, like, mm-mm. And ABT was like for it. He was dying laughing. He was like,
He's like,
oh
yes,
snap.
let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's get it started. He was like, yeah, that's a good question.
He's like, yeah,
Abby's like,
why
whoa.
do we have them sign NDAs?
Abby shook. She like, what? She trying to keep a poker face, but she like, what?
Yeah, she's trying to not act shook, but also on her face, it's like, I can't believe this is coming up right now. And she's definitely trying to like, let me just give a good answer that's just like
Uh-huh.
not saying too much, but it's just like, here's the answer. Don't ask any more questions after that.
Yeah, her and Tag try and answer it. And then Amelia's like, who's May Pratt?
Yeah.
So then this is where we find out who May Pratt was. And at first, they're just telling us May Pratt was a tutor to Will and also a friend of Benji's from college, and that she just disappeared out of nowhere after she was tutoring Will and then just left the estate
Yeah.
out of nowhere. And so ABT, his ass, he turned it up. He's ready to be an asshole. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, May Pratt was somebody who Tag was having an affair with.
Yeah.
Will, I asked, about to flip the table over.
Will was losing in his mind. He's like, no, that's not true.
He's like, take it back.
No, literally. He's really being the little brother in this moment. Like, I can't believe what my ears are hearing. Like, this can't
Have
be.
you seen that video of like a kid like flipping over the turkey, like the Thanksgiving dinner table? Like I thought he was gonna flip over the table.
He might would have.
So
He was
Tag's
too
trying to be like,
flabbergasted.
no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And then ABT is like, yes, it did.
Yeah,
You were having an affair with her. You broke it off with her. She was so distraught that she tried to commit suicide.
yeah,
And then you guys paid her off or whatever and had some NDA signed also.
yeah. And then that's why she was never seen again because it was like, okay,
Hmm.
we're gonna give you this money. You go away. Don't ever show your face around. Don't ever come to this town again.
Ever. Never seen from again. And
Yeah,
so Will storms off. He's like, you ruined everything.
yeah. He's telling everybody. He's like, "F you, F you." Like he's very upset about this news.
So he was very close with May Pratt. He like had a crush on her, like he's in high school right now. So we don't really, this was like maybe 4 years ago, they said.
Yeah, it was like definitely he was younger.
Yeah. So he's like preteens, early teenager, and his first crush on his tutor. And he wrote her a little letter before she dipped off, was like, I like you. And so I guess from this whole time, he thought that he freaked her out. And
Hmm.
I feel like that really stuck with him. He's like, that messed me up. Like he thought that he weirded her out and she just dipped.
Yeah, and I feel like now that you just said that, this probably plays into why Abby called him a weirdo. Because from that,
Mm-hmm.
like he said, that really messed him up. So he probably
Mm-hmm.
had a weird way or wasn't really comfortable on like how to interact with women from that point on
Mm-hmm.
because he felt like I did
Mm-hmm.
this little letter and then the person just
Mm-hmm.
disappeared and with no trace.
Which is super cutesy. We all write letters when we were younger. Do you like me back?
Yeah.
And then for somebody to just disappear after that, yeah, that would be a huge mind blow. Like, what the heck? What did I do?
Yeah. And we also get like a little bit of insight into Will and Tag's relationship. It's not super in depth, but Gosha, the house manager, she had made a comment at the police station and was basically like, Will does not like Tag, like at all.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like we didn't really see that until now.
Yeah,
I didn't really notice that there was like tension between Will and Tag until now.
me either. And I feel like we still don't really know why he does
Hmm.
not like Tag, but that comment was made and I feel like we're getting a little more insight into it because once Will leaves the table, Greer's telling Tag like go talk to him. Go talk to
Hmm.
Will, like he's your son, go talk to him.
Hmm.
Um
He's like, he's okay. She's like, "Ah."
yeah, she's like get up. And so he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to go." But like nobody can find Will. Nobody knows where Will's at. The
Yeah.
family's looking for him and nobody knows where he went.
But to piggyback off of what you were saying with maybe the tension between Will and Tag, his dad, maybe he senses and notices like his dad flirting with other women,
Yeah,
like
maybe.
maybe with May and with Merritt. He's like having these crushes on people, and his dad's flirting with them, which his dad really shouldn't be flirting with anybody. He's married to his mom.
Yeah.
So, that could be pissing him off and having some different type of emotions because it's like, you're married to my mother. Like, why are you flirting with these people that I have crushes on
Yeah.
and not just being faithful to my mom?
Yeah. I really think we're going to definitely learn a lot more about Will because there was also when they were searching for Will, there's a scene where Greer and Tag are on the beach and Greer's like, if something happens to Will,
Hmm.
she was like, I will never forgive you. And it's like,
Hmm.
now why is everybody thinking something bad is about to happen to him just from him finding
Right.
out the teacher,
Right.
like the situation with the teacher? Like, why is
Maybe he's
that?
done something too to try and hurt
Yeah.
himself.
So it's like, why are y'all expecting him to have this like huge
Hmm.
reaction?
Hmm. Yeah, because it was like a blow up. And then, like, so he runs off. It's storming outside. It's dark outside. You guys know they're on the beachfront. And this little boy is out getting his boat ready.
Yeah, with Chloe.
So Chloe walks up on him. I was like,
Hmm.
what are you doing? and he's just upset and like tells her the story of, he tells the story of, I had a crush on May Pratt, my tutor,
Mhm.
and I wrote her this love letter or whatever type of love letter. And then she just disappeared. And then now he's finding out that his dad made her go away
Yeah. And it wasn't his
because
fault all
of,
this time.
yeah, he's just really upset. It's storming. He's getting his sailboat together. She's like, don't go out there. And
Yeah,
he's just like, I'm about to go. And I really was like, Chloe, like, do not go out there with him. I'm like, right, girl, stay on the shore. Like, yeah,
right. But I think she went.
yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Goofy.
Yeah. And so there's that scene. So we're like, okay, Will's got some problems going on.
Hmm.
Greer and Tag got their problems going on. And then on top of all that, because Amelia, she told Benji, her fiance, well, I guess husband now, probably. She tells Benji, I should go
Are they
help.
married?
I mean, they
We don't
technically didn't
know
have the
yet.
ceremony.
They didn't have the
I'm just, yeah,
ceremony.
I'm just assuming maybe they went ahead and did the paperwork. I don't know. But
We don't know yet.
she tells Benji, like, I should go help look for Will. So she's
Hmm.
out helping look for Will. And she gets to his hiding spot boat and she finds there's like a pair of jeans laying there and she
Hmm.
lifts them
Hmm.
up and the bangle that we've seen Merritt wearing is
The
laying
$18,000
there.
bangle
Yeah. And my girl, she takes it straight to the police.
straight to the police
She's like,
station,
here, I found this. And
quick
yeah,
and in a hurry.
so it was really a lot going on in this episode. I mean, they really were giving us a lot of like back information that was really helpful, but it still is like, who could it be? I still stand by my theory,
It
that
was a good
Will
theory.
definitely is involved.
Hmm. Some other facts that came up in this episode, they confirmed that Merritt's pregnant. They get a phone call, the officers get a phone call that confirms Merritt's pregnant. The prints on an oyster knife are Will Winbury's, and the blood on the sand is Merritt's and Will's.
Wait, I completely missed it.
Girl, they
What was I
you better tune in
doing?
to
I
when
mean, I
them
was
officers
watching
are
this while
talking.
also working, so.
You better tune into when them officers are talking, girl. So they kept trying to call the forensics people.
Hmm.
They finally get a hold of them, and yes, Merritt's pregnant. Prints on an oyster knife are Will Winberry's, and I feel like they also were kind of like showing that when Will's hand was cut,
Yeah.
and Chloe put her shirt over his hand to help the cut, and that's how the blood got on her shirt, on Chloe's shirt.
Hmm. Wow. I
Um,
can't believe I missed
yeah,
that.
so those were two main parts right there.
Mm. We got a lot to look forward to, I believe, in episode 4. And I think that pretty much
Yes.
wraps up everything for episode
Yeah.
3. I mean, I know it was a lot,
Yeah.
y'all, so y'all might have to re-listen to this a second time to really get into the
Yeah.
details if you're watching the show along with us. But we're going to go ahead and head into our weekly review and discuss what's been going on in the world. So, we want to know, what did you guys think about the recent presidential debate between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris? We want to know
Yeah.
your thoughts because that was a very highly anticipated debate that everybody was waiting for.
Yeah. Yeah. It was juicy. Kind of
Hmm.
crazy. Again, make sure that you guys are registered to vote.
Yes, please register. What else do we have going on? I think we had that arrest, that football player, Tyreek Hill.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I had been seeing memes about it, like, oh man, my parlay not gonna hit now.
No, literally somebody that I work with, like in our team's chat, he was like, "Oh, he went and played and like won me something because I guess he made like a bet or something like that." And so he was
Mhm.
just happy. He was like, "I'm just happy he got to play."
That's crazy. I think they have put him on the ground and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's head on over to spoiler alert.
Spoiler
It's time for
alert.
spoiler alert. Hey. Okay, guys. So I've been super into The Perfect Couple right now. So I don't have a new spoiler alert, but I have an oldie but goodie. Behind Her Eyes on Netflix. It has Eve Hewson, who's also is the lead in this sci-fi series. She plays Amelia in The Perfect Couple. So Behind Her Eyes is a psychological thriller that incorporates some astral projection. I don't know if you know do you know what astral projection is?
I know just from Insidious, because Insidious, like
Mhm.
that's like the whole thing in that little series of movies.
So a quick snippet for the listeners, if you don't know what astral projection is, like your conscious maybe can travel to different planes, different areas, like just traveling, your mind can travel somewhere else. So this show kind of incorporates that. It has some storytelling through flashbacks, which you all know I love. And there's just a lot of twists and turns, and of course, a murder thrown in there. So if you're looking for something to binge after The Perfect Couple, that's a great mind-bending show to check out. It's called Behind Her Eyes on Netflix.
I kept thinking while watching the very first episode of The Perfect Couple, like Amelia does look very familiar, and I kept thinking like, where have I seen her before? And so I'm happy that you were able to make like that connection of like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's in
Yeah,
this, and like now she's in this show that we're watching. And yeah, Behind Her Eyes is good. It's really good.
it's really good. Yeah, she did a good job in there too. So that's all the time we have today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the follow button, like and share by clicking below, and don't forget to follow on YouTube. And don't forget to come back for more mystery, murder, and melanin. Bye.
Bye.